There are so many things to consider when it comes to deciding who to vote for. Some things are more important than others. But especially for us as believers, our vote is very critical. We are accountable for every decision that we make, and that includes who we vote for, who we decide our next leaders should be. And so we want to think of our vote through the lenses of the Bible. We want to think of who we are voting for and who we want our leaders to be based on principles we draw out from the Bible. And one such consideration is the murder of babies in the womb. Did you know in South Africa, anytime up to 12 weeks, you're allowed to murder your child, no questions asked, regardless of how old you are? Here's what it says. You are allowed to murder your baby if the continued pregnancy poses a risk of injury to the woman's physical or mental health. So that's a very subjective statement there. And that there are substantial risks to the fetus, which is another word for child, who would suffer from a severe physical or mental abnormality. And so you get to be the arbiter of life. You get to decide who lives and who dies, or if the pregnancy resulted from rape or incest, blaming the child for the sin of the parent or the sin of the father. If the continued pregnancy would significantly affect the social or economic circumstances of the woman. And so if it's going to make you poorer than you would be if you didn't have that child, you can go ahead and murder the child. And so we need to think about such things when it comes to voting. We need to consider this as important because we as Christians especially know that we are made in the image of God, that we are image bearers of God, and that God knitted us in our mother's wombs. That's Psalm 139. And so we know the dignity of every human life, and we know that life begins at conception. And so we want to take that as a consideration when it comes to voting. We need more voices which will speak out against the evil of abortion, against the evil of murder of children and babies in the womb. We need more voices in the community. We need more voices in our churches. But we also need voices in parliament who will speak against this. And we get the choice of choosing those leaders who will speak up against the evil of abortion. One thing to remember is that every single party says that they promise to do service delivery better than all the others. But sadly, there are parties who promise to continue the slaughter of babies in the womb. And so we want to take that as one of the considerations when deciding who to vote for, because we know life begins at conception.